Okay, this is the next update. I got the helix taken apart. The concept worked and I built it back how it's going to be set up now. The only thing that's going to be different is the IKEA tables that are inside of the helix. I'm borrowing them from the Las Vegas portion because I don't have enough, so I have to go to IKEA and pick up some more of the Linamon tables. But this is basically how this is going to go down. So the bottom is basically a crate made out of 2x4s and 1x3s, and it's not bolted to this cart. And it sits inside of the center groove. There's a square where the barrier or barricade has a gap. This is what it looks like here. And that actually holds it quite sturdy. I overbuilt with 2x4s on the bottom, and then on the top there's another removable crate. Right now it has 2 screws in each area. This crate here is going to have bolts going through it that you'll wing nut together, and then this crate can lift off. The next thing I need to build tomorrow is essentially another one of these height shelves, but taking into account for the white IKEA Linamon table that will hold that up against the wall. And then when that's the case, these are hot glued, these squares to the wall, and I promised my wife I would remove them. So I'm going to have a piece of basically a square that goes against the wall there and a square that goes against the wall here, and those will bolt onto a new Linamon table, because this table, although it'll be used at shows, in order to get the starting radius to go onto the helix, I'm not going to be able to keep my radius and keep these sidings, so this piece is irrelevant. It will stay in my trailer and go to shows for when I have the room. But if by doing that, I'm not really missing anything in my yard, because the switch here, I could figure out how to connect it into the straight track. Now at the moment, just to hold everything, because I don't have enough C-clamps, I put a screw down a board here, and I screwed down a board here, just so that I can show you in the video. But in the future, what's going to happen is this board is going to get cut pretty close once I'm sure that that's how that radius is going to be, and it comes out of the train room single track and it changes into double track, and then it goes around the loop, and this board will be modified and cut as well. It's not yet, but basically I'm going to have the Woodland Scenics foam riser incline going down, and this straight piece you see here will actually be going under. And then once you get to this area, this is from Dollarama. It's a magnetic tool holder, 2 of them, and then a $2.50 for a 2-pack of these shelf brackets, and they're just held on with a magnet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, which is from the V16 set, 19 and 17 inch radius, and I'm going to cut out with a jigsaw on Masonite a half moon shape, and then I'm probably going to glue 2 of them together thick, the width of the Cato track, and then I'm going to glue a little edge to it so that the train doesn't fall off. And then with those half moons, however many I need, I think I'm going to need 4 or 5, then basically I'll have something for the track to sit in, kind of a dish, and then I can have that resting on these and then figure out how do I want that connected, Velcro or whatever. Keep in mind, this is a portable helix. This can come apart by lifting this crate off, taking these tables off, which are just set on there, and you've got tables, you've got a crate here, and you'll have another couple squares here, and then this unit is a crate as well. I call it a crate because I built it like that. The idea being that this on wheels, even though it's quite a large platform, it holds everything. When I want to take it down, when I'm not having an operating session or NMRA or something going on where people are coming and I need to run a helix, I've lived without it. Basically, I'm going to hide this wheeler in my garage probably, and these crates underneath my stairs. I have a number of these wood squares for the show that hold these modules up on sawhorses. Those can stow in there, no problem. There'll be lots of room, but it's actually quite light and it's very sturdy. I have enough wood to build 2 more of these carts, and I picked up all the last things I needed today, screws and more of the casters. So I've got 2 bases here, and I have to basically jigsaw out where the 2x4 goes through, and then I screw it from underneath, and then the same thing on top. And one is unobstructed countertop, and the other one looks like so. Now the added benefit, I didn't design it, just kind of a fluke, is if you take off this strap here, if you undo these 2 screws, you can actually slide these IKEA Linamon tables in there, and that rubber feet that are on that barricade holds it quite good. If I put foam in between the modules, this would be a rolling roadie heavy duty crate. And that's kind of the thing from working trade shows. That's kind of what I was thinking. I went with a little more expensive caster, but it's worth it because it's got locks on one side and it's smooth. It doesn't mark my floor. It's going to hold up if I want to move it. What I eventually want to do is have enough of these carts that those can go into my utility room when I want to take this down, and this one can slide against the wall. These can go in the garage, and all of these modules can stow underneath, and the countertop can be used for something else. I could even build another layout if I got more Linamon tables and reuse the benchwork if I wanted to change scales and have 2 layouts. Eventually, because of the width of this, on the where my garage door is, I had some different, I guess, workbenches, ones you buy from Costco, and I ended up selling them a while ago, about a year ago. But I do miss those workbenches. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to build more of these carts eventually, probably not this year, but just like this, and have them sitting in the garage, have my modules in there. By that point, the trailer I have 4x6 won't be large enough. I'll have to sell it. I bought it brand new, only used it for this. It has a rack inside that holds 10 of these modules. I won't need the rack anymore. The modules can stow underneath the crate, and I can take the crate and drive it with the wheels, push it into an enclosed trailer, a slightly larger one, and have my modules there. As soon as I get to the show, undo the strap on the side, slide my modules out, and start setting them up on the carts. And that's how this is going to work eventually. So this gives you an idea of the yard. This will be my main staging yard, and basically some of the time I'll have, or more of the time, I'll have this yard up. Once I build these 2 more carts, that should cover up to here. Then what's going to happen is I'm going to make a Las Vegas set of modules, and I can fit the 19-inch radius from here. I built this to a standard, and then I'm going to go 5 modules out this way, and I'm going to have them just sit on plastic tables. So I'm going to have to acquire some more of those, but it has to be the right ones that don't move. These ones are good. I only have 2 of them, and then I have 2 of these really big ones. So basically, if I want to have a full-fledged operating session, I have my layout in that room on the other side of the wall, and I am going to be cutting a hole once these modules are ready and make it so that the bottom of the layout connects to this staging yard, and up there where the light's shining is the top of the layout that comes through the helix and goes down to this staging yard, or comes out on basically a Las Vegas peninsula. The main reason that I would have it set up out here is because I'm having an NMRA or having a meeting, but it has to be easy enough to set up and not too much work. Well, folding a table out and sliding out these tables out of these carts, it's not a problem. Everything's on wheels, or will be, other than the tables. So I'll have those carts there, those will stow, and those will be the basement set. And it's a little bit overkill, but it's going to make it, for the extra work of building the carts, it's going to make it so that basically when I have these in my garage in the future, I'll have everything in them and I could move quite a large layout by myself, which is, other than it's me and Barry, you know, it's basically most days I am putting it together myself. In my club, there is HO guys as well as a majority, and they basically, you know, they complain about setting up their layout. It takes time, energy. They're all older guys, and they're not getting younger. And I'm building it for bulletproof reasons so that it'll hold up. This is probably the 4th show layout that I've been involved in N-Scale, and 3rd or 4th. And basically, we took everything we learned from running trains at shows for 2 days, which is an entirely different experience running them for the public than running it at home, because when you run it for the public, nothing wants to work. So you have to design it better. And this IKEA table system with the threaded inserts on the other side, this works really well for us, setting up at the higher top height or the bottom height. My layout that's in this room, I'll just go to it just in case you haven't seen it. I have lots of videos if this is the first video you're seeing. And these are built to that same sort of standard, this being the sawhorse height and this being the sitting height, sitting being garage stool. So just to kind of recap, that's the hole in the wall. It's not very fancy right now, have to do some work there, and that's where it goes to the top of the helix on the other side of the wall. And over here, down in this corner, I'm going to be cutting a hole, and that, just remember that second one. Try not to make it too dizzy. That second hole will come out somewhere along here, has the option of going down the peninsula, or of course the main idea would be to go through the yard. Remember, these will be all at this height, not this height. So it'll come out of the wall about there, go on to the yard, go up the helix, and basically go through the wall. So I've got everything kind of sitting, and I'm at a point where I've got to build more of these carts to continue. I have to get more track. That'll have to wait for a bit. I've got some other locomotives coming and other stuff that I've committed to. So I want to get this done, but at the same time, I don't need it done tomorrow. The more important thing was that I could build this and continue working here, because these modules, they're completely wired. They're completely ready to go, all the ones that have track on them, except for I'll have to get 3 new tables from IKEA, and then I can take those 3 plus those 3, or sorry, it's 5 total. It's 2.5 over there. And basically I'll have my Las Vegas peninsula, which I can have my palm trees, and my Union Pacific station is what I'm going to do. So that's it. That's where I'm at, and I'm pretty happy with the results. I'm still able to run the bouncy house, still able to have a big operating session, or majority of the time just operate on the main layout. There's tools everywhere right now, guys. It's a little crazy, but I was able to, haven't been running trains, but I was able to do a bunch of organization. I changed this and I think it looks fantastic. I got my Bluetooth stereo in there hanging. This is all the same stuff I had, but just reimagined and moved into another spot. These are $4 shoe racks. They're no good for shoes, but they're great for those things. And I've got that all organized, and see which ones I'm low on. I've got some plaster to clean up. I've got some more painting to do, but she's coming along really nice. All right, that's where I'm going to leave it with you, and I'll talk to you on the next one.